Welcome to SharkFarmer TV, Season 9. That's right. There's always something going on at the farm. We're getting ready to put up a shed, an FBI building, 60 by 120, just to get the equipment out of the weather. You got the dozer there leveling it off, then you got the sheep's foot, is what they call that thing. It's kind of like a roller with an attitude. Like if a roller was an opossum, that would be an armadillo. That's what a sheep's foot is. I think it says that in the manual. Anyway, appreciate you guys having me around for 9 seasons. We got some great stuff coming up. Let's have some fun.
Unstoppable, unshakable, but it rolls off the tongue, unfakeable. It's unavoidable, he's so relatable. Read between the lines, start to loosen up your mind. A ground shaker, a rule breaker. Hold tight, he'll roll you through every acre. So get ready for the next shaker.
Every year, our friend the white-tailed deer shed their antlers so that they can make way to grow bigger ones in the upcoming year. Now, these deer, they remember being shot at all fall by hunters. So that's why they drop their shedded antlers in the field instead of the timber. There's nothing like a flat tire for revenge. This one looks like it got into the sidewall, which means this very expensive tire might just be kaput. Now, my family, we shed hunt as much as we can during the spring, hoping to avoid just this, even though we still average about one a year. Why is there a tree stand that close to the road? Maybe they're waiting to hunt cows that are strapped to a trailer. This video is from Ryan Peter, who is from Southern Illinois. Actually, this is a pretty common practice in Southern Illinois. Okay, I was seriously held down by the man on writing jokes for this clip. I would throw up comedic gold only to have it shot down faster than a one-winged pheasant. There was mother-in-law jokes. There was Golden Corral buffet jokes. There were 600-pound life jokes. Yeah, all three. Just shooting them down, one after another. Great jokes. One of these days, I'm going to take a stand against the man, who just happens to be my wife. All right, guy on the four-wheeler, maybe. Let's let the cowboy handle this. I mean, he's already got the rope around the neck. We're good. Let's not freak this steer out any more than we have to. Breaker, little buddy. This is how they grow Cabbage Patch dolls. That was my wife's joke. No, this is actually how they grow Dracula's worst nightmare, garlic. This is where Dracula got the blah from. He ate a piece of garlic pizza, it was like a blah, blah, blah. That's where it came from. Garlic has ruined more first kisses than a parent's porch light. But you can put melted garlic butter over anything, and it's amazing. You can even put it over mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's pretty good. Blah. It looks like they're trying to braid the field's hair. Heads up, boys. Grandpa's been in the sauce again. Hey, it's the same rules as a coloring book. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you stay inside the lines.
So God made a grain cart driver. On the 8th day, God looked at his paradise and thought, I need a man that can be responsible for the mistakes everyone makes. A man that is expected to read minds. A man that is just to be everywhere. He's expected to be twice as fast as possible. So God made a grain cart driver.
I've never heard it called a grain cart before. Weird. Anyway, for once, I may actually be on the side of the auger wagon driver. Even without using a John Deere combine, anybody should be able to hit that gigantic Balzer wagon.
This week's machinery clip of the week is presented by John Deere.
Seems like a very personal view, like almost intrusive. It feels wrong to watch. But yet I want to watch it again. What happens if you put tax-free farm fuels in your going to town vehicle? I guess the old DOT ain't playing around anymore. The part that's like flying way up in the sky, that's an ejection seat. That's parachute's going to come out anytime. We are back on the streets of Nashville talking to people from all over the country. We're seeing what they know about agriculture and showing how farm life connects everyone. It's a chicken math. If you have one chicken, then you're going to have 20 chickens, and then you're going to get a sheep and a goat and a cow.
Ducks, then you get pigs.
We're here on the streets of Nashville. We're going to find out what people know about agriculture and how it connects all of us. Okay, we're here with
McLean
McLean.
and Sammy.
Okay, you're Detective McLean.
Okay.
You know, from Die Hard.
No. I've never seen Die Hard. People tell me that all the time, but I've never seen Die Hard.
That's what it is from, yes.
Your mom named you after Die Hard. Your dad named you after Die Hard.
Yep. Never seen it.
I've never met your dad, but I like him. And what's the name?
Sammy.
Sammy. Okay. Yeah, you kind of got overshadowed by Detective McLean. Where are you guys from?
Wisconsin.
What part?
La Crosse area.
Okay. All right. What are you doing down here in Nashville?
Here for CMA Fest and visiting family.
Okay. Did you see any good shows?
We went to Nissan on Saturday night.
Okay.
That was good.
Awesome. All right. We're here with.
Jan.
And Doug,
And where are you guys from?
Hillsboro, Oregon.
Which is where in Oregon?
It is a suburb of the Portland area.
West side of Portland.
Okay. What are you guys doing in Nashville?
Meeting relatives and visiting friends.
Yeah, and checking out Nashville. We've never been here.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been up and down Broadway here?
We did. We actually came in yesterday.
Yeah.
And then we went to the CMA last night because our sister-in-law got us tickets.
Nice.
And
Who'd you
it was
see?
pretty nice.
Oh gosh.
Megan Maroney, Brothers
Bailey-
Osborne.
Bailey Zimmerman.
Okay.
I can't list them all.
That's a good show then. What do you guys do out in Oregon?
Retired.
What did you do?
I was executive in IT of the hospital system.
Okay.
And I do data analytics for the hospital systems.
Okay. I know absolutely nothing about what you did. But I'm a farmer, so I've got some questions about that.
Okay.
So when you're choosing what to eat, just like on a daily basis, what's the driver? Is it taste? Is it price? Organic, inorganic, that stuff?
Well, it's got to be, for me, it's got to taste good.
Okay.
We have a garden at our own house and we have some chickens. And so we like to grow our own stuff there because it's fresh.
Yep.
And it tastes better.
And for me, it's a balance of vegetables, fruit, protein,
Okay.
whatever. It's just got to be a rounded. I can't have just meat. I can't have just pasta.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I like the fresh farm food and
Well,
farm
and
to table.
you guys are putting your money where your mouth is. You're actually growing some food, huh?
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So the chickens, are you eating the chickens or are those the eggs?
No, they're
Eggs.
eggs.
Okay.
I love my chickens.
How many chickens you have?
6.
You know that's not going to stop, right? It's a chicken math. If you
That's
have
good.
one chicken, then you're going to have 20 chickens,
That's what
and
they
then you're
say.
going to get a sheep
Goats.
and a goat
Then you
and
get
a cow.
Then you get ducks. Then you get pigs. Then you get.
Do you enjoy creating your own food?
Yeah, I do. I especially like the peppers.
Oh, really?
Jalapeno peppers.
Jalapenos, actually, how to say
Yeah,
it.
jalapenos, jalapenos, just like the cars that drive around, the jalapenos. But a lot of peppers, and then I'd like to make sauces out of them.
So if I could ask you guys, like, when you're deciding what to eat, what are some of the deciding factors? Is it price? Is it taste? Is it organic, inorganic, pesticides, stuff like that?
Whatever tastes good.
It's the taste,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah.
I would say the taste as well.
Okay. Have you guys noticed the price of food going up?
Yeah.
Okay. Would that make you less likely to pay extra for something that was, pesticide free, a label like that?
Probably not.
Probably you'd still go ahead and chuck
Yeah.
in the money?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you guys, literally it's just what I want to eat at that moment, I'm going to buy, and it really doesn't matter?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. When you go and you buy food, do the labels, do they mean anything to you?
Yes.
Yes.
So which labels do you pay attention to?
Well, recently she's been paying attention to added sugars a lot.
Okay.
And then we look at things like what kind of fats are in them and try to stay away from the trans fats and things like that. But to see if they're organic, you can kind of tell and take a look at them.
So what does organic mean to you guys?
It means they're not spraying a lot of pesticides all over the plants, and they're a little bit cleaner.
Cleaner as in no pesticides, that type of thing?
And other things.
They're dirtier. You got to wash them because they're not cared for, like sprayed with everything.
Yeah.
So that means
Like in our garden, we don't put any pesticides on it. We put some organic fertilizer down, but we'll pick things right off the plants and just eat them.
As far as like going out to restaurants and that, are you fast food or sit down places?
I'd prefer sit down.
Oh.
Yeah. What are some of the favorites?
Oh God.
We're from Wisconsin, so we like Culver's, which
Oh my
is
God. You are such a stereotype. Wow, Wisconsin getting the love out here. You're such a stereotype. How about the sit down ones? What's your favorite?
Like Texas Roadhouse.
yeah.
You're from Wisconsin, but yet you like the Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
As a farmer, there's frustrations time because I know what I grow is healthy, but I can't quite get that message out because when you Google food and that, you get all the bad stuff. What could I do as a farmer to talk to people like yourselves about what I'm doing?
Probably keep getting out there and just talking to people that you see. Yeah. I feel like a lot of ads help too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a bigger ad budget.
Yeah.
Or just like Instagram or like something that everyone's always on.
Social
TikTok
media
is really popular. Yeah, social media.
Plus, if you have baby cows on Instagram, everybody
Everyone
likes.
loves that.
Exactly. I'm a farmer, and I know that the food that I grow is healthy for people like you to eat. How would I convey that message to you folks?
That's a good question. I think a lot of it's around talking about what you're putting on the plant when you're growing it. I think for me, when they start talking about pesticides, I like to avoid that stuff. If it's a pesticide, and what type of fertilizer you're using. If you're throwing in things that are basically chemicals, then I want to avoid that type of thing.
So like the fertilizer, like the commercial, like if they, the mined phosphorus out of, a Canadian mine brought in to fertilize the plant. Is that something that you want to avoid?
Yes.
As far as like being here in Nashville, when are you guys going home?
Tonight. We fly out tonight.
Oh, you flew, huh?
Yeah.
It's not that long of a drive, is it?
No.
Well,
We
the
fly-
drive is like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
We fly out of Cedar Rapids though, nice and small.
Okay, yeah, that works. All right, well, so no more shows, this is it?
Yep.
Okay, but you got to be on this show.
Yep.
Yes.
You never heard of this show, have you?
Nope.
Now we have though.
Die Hard 1, 2, or 3, none of them?
I didn't know there was even more than one.
Okay. We're going to end this interview now. Thank you guys, you're a lot of fun. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys because, I do disagree with your thoughts on that, but in order for me to understand what you guys are thinking, I have to listen first. So I appreciate you guys being so honest with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you too. Coming up next, we go to Wooden Shoe Tulip Farm.
We don't have a Dutch last name, and so we had to use Wooden Shoe as kind of that Dutch.
Did that really matter?
It did actually.
Really?
Yes, I've learned that in this industry with tulips, if you're not Dutch, you're not much.
We're here in beautiful Woodborn, Oregon. I got Mount Hood behind me and tulips around me. So Emily, this is your farm.
It is, yes.
Well, tell me about the history. When did the tulips start?
Yeah, so we started growing tulips as a crop for bulb production back in the 70s. We actually can force tulips, which means that the tulips need a chilling period and a heat period. So you can grow them any time of year, typically in a greenhouse. So we would plant the tulips, dig them in June, ship them to the East Coast, and then we would force them in a greenhouse for Christmas. So we could have tulips for Christmas to sell as cut flowers in the East Coast market.
They can't grow tulips in the East Coast?
They can grow tulips in the East Coast, but their weather is usually a little bit later than ours.
Okay.
Their spring is, and so our spring is early enough and is actually 2 weeks ahead of Holland, to where we could dig 2 weeks earlier and ship them over faster.
You don't just farm here. I mean, you live right over there.
I do. Yep.
And you grew up right over there.
Yep. So, and I have a bunch of family that lives within a 2-mile radius of here. So we are one big family operation here.
Who's all involved with this farm?
So we're a 3rd-generation family farm. My grandparents bought the farm in the 50s, and then they had 6 kids. All 6 of the kids are still involved in one way or another.
Really?
Especially during tulip season. They might not, there's only 4 owners of the farm of that 2nd generation, but the other 2 are here during Tulip Festival. One does the steam tractors, and we have a steam tractor operation. Awesome. And then the other one does a lot of the setup during the festival. So it's still one big happy family, and then there's 20-something cousins of us.
Oh, mercy.
So actually, succession planning is amazing. Of the 4 owners, the eldest child of each of the owners has come back to the farm.
Oh.
And so it's a super smooth family transition. But we had a family rule. You had to get a college degree and work 2 years off the family farm to be able to come back.
And you still worked in the flowers, right, when you left?
I was involved a little bit on at this operation, but I worked for other farms, the tulip festivals. Yes.
Learning how other people did it.
Yeah.
Stealing
exactly.
the ideas. Yeah.
No, more so learning how to do things better.
When did the agritourism part start?
Started softly in the 80s. So again, we had neighbors that were like, open the field up and let people come and visit. And we had a mini traffic jam in 1984,
really?
Exactly 40 years ago. So that kind of started it, and we slowly added things through trial and error. It started with food. My cousin was a Boy Scout, and he sold sausages. And then he sold out of sausages that day, and people were very angry. And we realized, well, when people are coming out here, maybe they want food.
Yeah.
And same with the bulbs in the early 2000s. The gardening market really collapsed, and so we were noticing people were just coming out here, taking pictures and leaving, and that was right at the start of social media.
Oh, yeah.
And so we kind of shifted our model from that really heavy gardener approach, and we still do cater to gardeners, but now it's more of that social media. Come out, get your picture perfect images, post on social media, have your family out here. That's kind of, we're about the experience now.
And so people, when they come, do they buy flowers, or is it they just want the pictures?
A little bit of both. It depends on who they are. Some want the tulip bouquet, and we have crews that go through and they hand pick 10-stem bunches, and we sell them in our market. And then we have small pots available for purchase. So a lot of people do buy pots and cut flowers, but there is a large market.
Not enough?
Not enough.
When they're coming through here, you don't want the kids picking them off.
No. So our tulips are planted in nets. It's almost like nylon fish net.
Okay.
Like leggings.
Like leggings.
Yeah, almost. But it's like
women would know that.
It's like a tube-style net that's in the ground, and that's why that they're on raised beds. And so we plant the tulips in this tube, and then we put it in the ground. And so if we did pick, and we picked, let's say, 50% of the field out, well, 50% of the bulbs aren't going to bloom next year. And so it's super hard. Yeah. So if you pull or you pick the tulip, it generally splits into smaller sized bulbs.
Oh.
And so they don't come back all the time.
Yeah, we don't want that.
And so by doing it how we do, if we top the flower head off and we allow energy to return back down to the bulb, then we can have a bigger bulb for next year.
You are like a flower expert, aren't you?
I try to learn more every year.
So tell me how it works. I mean, if somebody wants to come out here, tell me the process.
Yeah, so we used to, on our little country roads, have like 3 or 4 miles of backups on the weekends.
They're tight roads.
They are tight roads. They don't even have fog lines.
Yeah. What lines?
Fog lines, like the
like the outside ones?
Yeah, the white lines on the outside.
Yeah.
The roads is
every day.
So they're so narrow, and so we would see on weekends. I mean, we would have 15,000 people here a day, and we couldn't accommodate it. That was the issue. So when COVID hit, it was a perfect opportunity for us to shift to an online-only approach.
What do you look at a year? How many people come out?
Oh, we usually, pre-COVID, when we were seeing 15,000 people a day, I mean, we were seeing about 150,000 in the month of April. Now that last year we had a kind of a tougher year with weather, it was a very late season, and we saw maybe 90 to 100,000.
Still.
But we average between those.
Where else? Literally, nowhere else in the U.S. do you get this type of opportunity to come out and see agriculture that is the most beautiful you'll ever see. Does it ever get old looking at it?
It doesn't. I mean, sometimes I'm like, well, I don't need to go out to see the field. I know what it looks like. But then I come out here and I'm like, why don't I come and visit this more? Because I take it for granted sometimes more than I should.
Yeah.
Because I get caught up with other things.
Yeah, like critters, like bugs and that. Do you have problems?
The only problems we do have is when it gets warm, we have aphids. And so aphids actually are a vector for tulip break virus.
Yeah.
So back in the 1600s when the Netherlands had that tulip bulbs were worth more than a house.
I remember that. Yeah.
One of the first economic bubbles, that was because of tulip break, and it's spread by aphids. So that is one problem we do have out here. But other than that, with pests, no. You'll see the occasional bird sitting on a tulip, which is quite fun.
You do the hot air balloon?
We do. So that started because my mom was actually a pilot. She owned her own balloon and started flying. And so all of her friends started flying with her. And so people really gravitated the flowers and hot air balloon mix.
Oh, yeah. Well, where do you do it?
It happens at sunrise. You go way up in the air, and
oh my gosh.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah, but probably the whole thing is to get the overview of this, isn't it?
Oh yeah, a lot of it is like they start their season early because hot air balloons, in this area at least, you can book flights all throughout the summer everywhere. Yeah. But a lot of people like it that it's over the tulip field.
Besides the tulip, do you guys do anything else?
We do. So we farm about 1,100 acres.
Oh wow.
Just in this general area here.
Is that big here?
I would say it's on the bigger side of things. Yeah. So we primarily grass seed. We have hazelnuts or filberts or what they're called in Oregon. You're looking around, you can see clover fields. And then we have a winery and have our own estate, wine grapes and table grapes. So that was one thing we like to say with coming back to the family farm, you have to bring something back with you. And so my cousin brought back a winery. He worked for a local vineyard company and he said, I want to bring wine grapes back. And so now we offer like 13 different wines.
What's your official role?
Oh gosh, I do really all the tourism.
Okay.
And so this year my mom has pretty much given me, here's one shoe. So I have the final say on everything that happens around here. And I do all the tourism. I'm in charge of the winery, a little bit of everything. I don't make the wine, but I get to oversee the wine tasting room. Yeah. And a lot of the Tulip Festival stuff has been planned by me.
Well, I want to thank you for letting us come to your farm and interviewing you. And I want to thank you for what you're doing for agriculture, because you are reaching people that I would never reach. You are getting people to look at agriculture in different ways, different than anybody else could. And honestly, it's invaluable for a farmer like myself to have someone like you out on the West Coast doing this.
Hey, if I can touch somebody to teach them about agriculture in just one little way, even if it's just standing on a grass seed field, that makes me happy because I know that the disconnect is there.
Well, again, thank you for letting us come out and enjoy this beautiful farm.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for spending some time with us here on SharkFarmer TV. For more stories about people in agriculture, catch my shows on Rural Radio Channel 147 Sirius XM. There's more in-depth discussions on my podcast, and of course, you can check out previous episodes of this show on my YouTube channel. Find out more at sharkfarmer.com.